My name's Emily and today I'm going to talk about two things: how to plan a book and National Novel Writing Month. For those of you who don't know, National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo, is an annual challenge to write a 50,000 word novel in the 30 days of the month of November. It can be really difficult to achieve this, but NaNoWriMo is a great way to get out a rapid draft or rough draft of a current project. Once you have a rough draft, you have the bones of your novel and you can go back in editing and fix everything. Whether or not you're participating in National Novel Writing Month, planning out a book can be a challenge for any writer. Some writers have files on their computer or in their desk full of fresh ideas. When they finish a book, they just pull it out and pick another story like they're drawing out of a hat. Other writers might finish a book and have no idea what they're going to write next. Some writers even wonder if they're ever going to write again every time they finish a book. If you're in the first group, think about things that you're interested in, things that you care about. If you're really stumped, ask someone you know. What do you talk about a lot? What do you complain about? What do you try to promote? Chances are they'll be able to think of a few answers. Once you find a concept or a topic that you care about, you're interested in, and you think you might be able to write about, just try some free writing. Write down what it is about this topic that you really like. Why are you interested in it? Do you know a lot about it? Is there a lot you need to learn? Do you have any questions? Write it all down. Once you've done that, try to think of a way to connect your topic to a story. To have a story, you need people, places, and circumstances. So take your topic and try to link it together with those things. What kind of circumstances often arise around this concept? What kind of people are generally involved? Regardless of what group you fall into, chances are your story isn't going to come to you with a fully formed 20-page outline. That's the kind of hard work you're going to have to put in yourself. Your muse might give you a picture or a line or even a fully fledged character, but muses do not give away outlines. Next, you want to develop your story's central characters. You need people in your story for the reader to connect with. If there aren't any compelling characters in your story, then why would the reader care what happens? What's at risk? Once you have the characters that you want to use to tell a story about your topic that you care about, work out a rough list of events that you think should happen in the novel. You can do this in a notebook or even on index cards. Whenever you're done, just to rearrange the events into the order that you think they should happen within the story. These events can be small, concrete details, like she looked in a mirror and thought about her freckles. Or they can be more vague, big picture kind of things, like the dark night of the soul. Once you have all these events in a list, type the list up on your computer in outline form. This is really helpful to see if there's any gaps in the story that you need to fill. How do the characters get from point A to point B? What about from point D to point K? Once you've filled in all the gaps, split your events up into equal chapters. Whatever you're writing, most genres have an average length, whether it be words or pages, that books published in that genre tend to fall into. This is especially true for NaNoWriMo, where the goal is 50,000 words in 30 days. That's 1,667 words a day. Once you have your full outline, it can be really helpful to break your events up into chapters and designate those chapters with a specific word length. For instance, if you're writing a NaNoWriMo novel, you might want to split it into 25 chapters that are each 2,000 words long. That way, as you're writing along through your outline, as long as you make it to that small word goal within each chapter, you'll know that by the time you finish the story, you'll have the full 50,000 words. It would be a real bummer to get to the end of your book and realize that you're 5,000 words short of the goal. What are you going to write then? It's much harder to go back to your story and find places to try to add words in after you're done than to just shoot for those smaller goals right from the very beginning. So here comes the fun part. If you're doing NaNoWriMo, you should implement this step at exactly 12 o'clock a.m. on Halloween night. You know what I'm talking about. Start writing. During the writing process, I like to keep my outline and my story files up next to each other on either side of the screen so that I can always see how far I've come, what I'm writing now, and what's going to happen next. Writers know that despite our best efforts, things can happen when writing a book that you do not expect. Characters just have minds of their own and they go off and do their own thing without even asking us. What's up with that? Who do they think they are? If that happens to you, it's okay. Just go back to your outline and make sure that the changes you've made won't have repercussions throughout the rest of your outline. If it's a big event change that's going to echo throughout the rest of your book, you probably should go back and rework your outline from that point forward. A really important thing to remember when you're participating in NaNoWriMo or writing any rough draft is to save editing for after you write the end. There will be plenty of time for that in December and all the rest of the year. For now, just get those words down on the page. Once you complete your first draft, it's time for revision! Once the NaNoWriMo craziness is over, I'll post another video here on how to go about revising the words that you produce during your rapid drafting process, whether that's NaNoWriMo or any other time of year. The revision process can be really hard, but it's worth it to see how polished and really good your book can turn out to be if you give it the attention and time it deserves. Good luck with your novels this November, and thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about NaNoWriMo, rapid drafting, or you just want to talk about writing in general, leave me a comment down below, or you can tweet me at I belong in a book. Cheers!